My name's Sue Clark. I'm a professor and I'm the head of the Cancer Epigenetics Research Laboratory at the Garvan Institute of Medical Research. Well, I think when I was at primary school, I didn't know what science was. What I was interested in was art, drawing, and in particular drawing plants, leaves, flowers, the insects that were on the plants. And it was only when I went to high school I realised that that was studying nature and studying biology. So I think I've always had an interest in nature. So after school I went straight into a science degree at ANU, where I studied science for 3 years and then specialised with an honours degree in molecular biology, which is the study of DNA. After that, I went to England for a year, where I studied at ICI as a student in a chemistry and microbiology lab. And after that, I thought, what do I want to do? And I thought, I really do enjoy science and I enjoy understanding what makes things work. So I looked around and decided I'd go to University of Adelaide to do a PhD in molecular biology, because at University of Adelaide at that time they just started to study DNA and how to sequence it, and that was something I wanted to be a part of. I've worked in cancer research for probably nearly 30 years. I started back when I was working at CSIRO and then moved to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital at the Kanematsu Research Institute, and then moved 20 years ago to the Garvan Institute, where I am now, running a cancer epigenetics group. So I head the Cancer Epigenetics Research Laboratory. We have about 16 people working in my laboratory, and we all work as part of a team. And in that team, we collaborate with other scientists, both at the Garvan, also nationally and internationally. So it takes a whole family of people to be able to do cancer research. So what I like most about my job is the fact that I get the privilege to work on really novel questions of understanding how a cell works and how I can use that information to answer really big questions. And that is what really turns me on. It's what makes it worth getting up in the morning and what makes a fulfilled day at the end of it, to think that you have come up with something quite new and something that you have asked yourself about how life works. How long does it take to write a grant application? Well, it depends on how big the grant is. For very large grants, it can take 3 to 4 months to write the application. For smaller grants, it can take 1 to 2 months. And we would write within the laboratory probably 8 to 10 grants a year. So in principle, it can take the whole year to write all the grants that we would require to run a laboratory of my size. So the reason that we have to write so many grants is the success rate isn't predictable. Some years, if we're really lucky, we might get 50% of those grants, some years 10%. So we really have to keep writing grants to ensure that we have a success rate, and we're aiming for a success rate of ideally 30 to 40% to be awarded. Besides raising 3 amazing children in my spare time, it has probably been the development of a new sequencing technology. 30 years ago, myself and my colleague Marianne Frommer developed a new technology to sequence DNA for the epigenetic profiling of DNA, and it's something that we called DNA bisulfite methylation sequencing, and it's now been adopted worldwide, and it's being used to discover not just the DNA sequence information, but the chemical marks above the DNA and how that influences development and the development of humans, but also the development of diseases such as cancer. So it's been a major breakthrough, and I'm very proud of that achievement. Probably doing the same. Science is my hobby. It's something that defines me. I have been blessed with being able to train incredibly talented people, and something that I really want to continue doing, to instill the love of science and learning, and in particular to instill the love of understanding DNA and the epigenetic changes to DNA and how we can use that information to make a difference to cancer treatment, cancer prevention, and cancer diagnosis. Well, besides family, which are quite demanding and fun, then it would be, I play tennis once a week, I go to the gym, walking, and I suppose special treats are travelling. That would be the travelling on my bucket list. I would love to go to Galapagos Island and Costa Rica and just look at all the amazing different forms of animal life that those islands have to offer. It would be wonderful and something I look forward to being able to do.